coming, members of the press. We have called this press conference on the water situation for the greater Harare area. It is a routine meeting that we have instituted as the mayors of the greater Harare area to deal with the issues of water and to be able to alleviate the problems that we are facing on water. I've invited to this meeting the mayors of Chitungwiza, Councillor Mtupanyoka, Mayor of Norton, Councillor Dumisirai, the Mayor from Ruwa, Councillor Chiwafa Kizito. The Mayor of Epworth sends his apologies. He's at a strategic workshop, or the chairman rather of Epworth is a strategic workshop. We have come to the realization that there is a symbiotic relationship between Harare water and the cities that surround it, and that have in effect become dormitory towns of the Harare city, and were designed as such and are provided for with services from Harare. One of the key problems has been, of course, the monies that we owe each other. We wanted to discuss on the issue of the debt. As you know, currently we've had issues of chemicals, payment of chemicals, and we need to have a common strategy to be able to pay for the chemicals. So the meeting was very fruitful. We have come to an understanding as to how much we owe each other. I know that Chitungwiza owes Harare 600 million, thereabouts. Ruwa owes us upwards to 100 million, but they are querying the amount because the bulk meter was not working, and they believe they had the water. Norton owes us around 571 million. So cumulatively, and then Epworth owes us about 100 million. Cumulatively, the cities owe Harare 1.3 billion thereabouts. 1.3 billion RTGS. That's a lot of money, and we need to come up with a way of extinguishing this debt. It's not only the cities that owe us. I'm going to have meetings, or we are going to have meetings with government ministries, big corporates, and ultimately the residents themselves. It is very important that we held this meeting at this juncture, because we are all doing our budgets as required by the law, and we wanted our budgets to speak to the water requirements of Norton, water requirements of Chitungwiza, water requirements of Ruwa, water requirements of Epworth, so that we can both pay off the debt, pay for the current water, and improve the infrastructure in a coordinated manner. Our infrastructure is networked and interlinked. I know that Chitungwiza needs to build a new dam, water treatment plant, and we will go to government together to motivate for that dam, in particular Muda Dam. We know that Ruwa should benefit from Chegaranwa Canal, which will also ultimately benefit Harare and the eastern parts of Harare, and we have agreed to go together to government to get that canal on the way. Norton, we know that during the inclusive days, a treatment plant was planned, and it died with the inclusive government. And we are going to look at ways on how we can resuscitate the work around that treatment plant, which was initially penciled to do 60 megaliters per day, and ultimately to 200 megaliters per day, and so forth. We know that Ruwa has its own production capacity of between 5 to 7 megaliters per day, which they are currently producing from their two water sources. And we need our teams to go there to see whether we cannot improve. We give them 2.2 megaliters up to 5 megaliters per day to feed their Zimre Park and other suburbs that are closer to Harare. We give Chitungwiza approximately 20 megaliters per day, but they need more. We give Ruwa 5 megaliters per day, Norton, sorry, which is enough for only 2 days, which they divide between their suburbs. So we need more. It's a tragedy for Norton because they are a town bordering 2 dams. So it is the proverbial, the feet in water, but dying in thirst kind of scenario, which we need to rectify. And as mayors, we saw that it befits that we do that. The question would be, some of the projects have to be funded by the taxpayers, but we are also cognizant of the fact that why should taxpayers in other provinces be saddled with giving water to 4 million people who cannot organize themselves to provide water for themselves? So we do feel that some of the dams and some of the issues that can be done with us not having to cry to the rest of the taxpayers, but harnessing the revenue we get in Harare, effectively collecting it to then build the dams for the 4 million people that reside in Harare. So having done that, we entered into a resolutions from this meeting. We are going to hold another meeting this week with all our technical people. That is the town clerk, the finance directors, the water engineers, and head of committees that are tasked with finance and the water, that is in councillors, so that we come up with the proper concrete steps. But among the steps that we need to come up with, we will enter into memorandum of understandings as mayors of the various cities and as councils of the various cities, to then be able to develop our infrastructure, improve our infrastructure, and to have closer technical cooperation on water issues, so that we can give the whole of Harare metropolitan water, and also be able to have a united front in lobbying Parliament and government to invest in the water infrastructure. We are also going to create a technical committee team that is going to have engineers and other technical staffs from all departments that have to do with water. And this technical team will meet regularly to discuss on issues around secondment of staff from Harare, secondment of finance staff, secondment of engineers, exchange programs, so that we deal with the inefficiencies that are making our sister city not be able to pay for the water that they are receiving, and also to look at our budgets as we present them, so that they speak to each other on the areas that need to be improved in relation to water. We are also going to have service level agreements with the cities. At the present moment, we are simply supplying water without service level agreement. We will have service level agreement where we provide water that a city can pay for, so that they will have to cut their clothes to the size of their pocket, not to the size of their body. And then we will increasingly grow the clothes as they also grow their ability to pay. So we will have service level agreements with the cities, and thus will determine how much water we give, and we will look at how much they are paying and see in the water ecosystem where the challenge is. And I'm sure we should be able to provide a solution with those service level issues. We have also resolved to come up with joint plans and joint activities. We are aware of certain plans that need to be completed. The Ruwa, the Norton treatment plant was only 10% to 20% finished. So we will try to see how we can coordinate with government and other stakeholders to complete that treatment plant, and Harare will be the off-taker of some of or the bulk of the water and give it to the residents who require. We are also going to look at the works that are in Ruwa to see whether their capacity cannot be increased in relation to their water reservoirs and so forth. And then we'll also look at Chitungwiza. Chitungwiza, we require to see how that building of a dam can be accelerated and the improvement of the infrastructure in those areas. So this is part of us trying to assist each other, follow the debt, and also alleviate the ratepayers of Harare. We have about 300,000 households that are currently being rated, and these households are the ones that are shouldering the bulk of the expenses for all the cities. We are also going to try and see how we can create a multiplier effect on our devolution fund allocation, so that we invest in infrastructure for water that speaks to each other. On that one, we will urge the local government ministries and the executive to allow the residents to determine how the devolution funds are to be utilized. Because if we are able to free those devolution funds, we should be able to invest in the water infrastructure and be able to deal with the water issues that the residents are facing at the current moment. So this is the beginning of a forum of the mayors in the greater Harare area, and this forum will cascade to the technical aspects, and we will cascade on many other issues. We do have boundary issues that we are going to be discussing, illegal documents, illegal settlements that are taking advantage of no man's lands and going on to build things we need to regularize, stop that if it has to be stopped before innocent people have their mind taken away, boundary issues, overlapping issues on issues. You know, Harare, on the health issues, a disease does not recognize the boundaries that we have set ourselves. So if it's COVID or another infectious disease, it will cross all over the towns. So we will look at greater cooperation on issues of health, issues of education, even issues of road infrastructure. Most of the people that come to Harare are living in Chitungwiza, Norton, and Ruwa, and they congest the roads here in Harare. Yet they are not paying anything for the development of those roads. So we need to find a way whereby we should be able to contribute to the infrastructure that we share as cities, so that we develop. So I want to thank my mayors for coming. I don't know if they have one or two words to say before we close, and then we can take it up from there. Yeah.
I think nothing much, just to appreciate this meeting that is Harare metropolitan province. We have to come together and work alongside each other and bring about this issue of water irrigation system. We know that there is this issue of global warming. So our dams are also affected. Harare metropolitan to come up with strategies and means on how we can mitigate such factors affecting the environment. So as a result, I really appreciate the invitation of them and for all the mayors that come together, come up with a better solution to keep raise our own residents, our citizens.
Thank you so much, Your Worship. If anything, mine is to just appreciate as well this meeting that we just had, where we've just decided to come together to converge, find each other, collaborate, and obviously engage in a view of actually addressing the problems affecting our people. So as city fathers, we are being responsible, and this is the message that we want to send our people. We know there are some challenges out there, and we know that water is the biggest prime of all those challenges, and it's an issue that we're actually discussing right now, and obviously we're looking at solutions, and very soon we shall be communicating those solutions to our residents, to our people, to those who actually put us in office. And if anything, we are not going to disappoint. We'll make sure that things actually happen, and we'll make sure that people actually have water. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I also want to appreciate this meeting and the deliberations that we did in this meeting and the resolutions. As you know, our biggest challenge and our biggest problem is water. in terms of Norton, I think with my sister towns, the biggest challenge we are having is water. And I foresee being together will make it. And I foresee the vision of the mayor of the metropolitan Harare. The vision is for everyone. We don't want to burden Harare. We should stand alone, manage to supply water through this vision. I thank you. I think I thank you on that.
So thank you very much, Your Worships. We will have the technical meeting next week, and we will inform the public the concrete steps that we are going to be taking to ensure that we start the steps to deal with the water situation, and also we will cooperate on other issues that are of common ground. The city of Harare remains committed, and we do not want a situation where it shuts water or stops. We remain committed to provide the water, not only for the Harare citizens, but for everyone else. And like I said, it is not only the cities, but we have to talk to government. The amount of money that we are owed on water alone goes up to 45 billion. So this one, this issue will address the 1.3 billion that is owed here, but the rest of the 45 billion we will need to address other key stakeholders, and we will try to ensure that they pay for what we give them, so that at least we can continue providing it and increase for others who have not been getting it. Thank you.